Good day, class. Today we'll be dealing with sequence. We'll be focusing on introduction to sequence. Goal of the day or objectives for this day or this discussion are 1. Differentiate finite and infinite sequence. Number 2. Identify the next term. And number 3. Generates patterns. Let's start with this situation. I want you to join me in reading and analyzing this situation. An old woman is overweight. Her doctor told her to decrease 35 kilos. If she lost 11 kilos in the first week, 9 kilos in the second week, and 7 kilos on the third week, and continues losing at this rate, how long will it take her to lose 35 kilos? Okay, so after analyzing, I have here a table. We'll fill out or complete this table. We have the row of weeks, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and week 5. And the rows of kilos. So, ito yung walang sagot. But, given na yung nalos niyang weight or nabawas sa kanyang timbang from the first week up to the third week. And they are 11, 9, and 7. So, sabi dun sa question, how long will it take her to lose 35 kilos? So, since given na yung up to third week, add muna natin. So, 11 plus 9 is 20, plus 7 is 27. So, after third week, nagda-diet siya or naglulus ng weight, she already loses how many? 27. But the doctor says she should lose how many? 35 kilos. So, she'll be needing how many kilos more? Okay. So, before we find the answer on week 4, let's try to analyze these three sets of numbers. What have you noticed? 11, 9, and 7. So, you will notice here na nababawasan ng 2 kilo every week. So, 11 becomes 9, becomes 7. So, obviously, if we continue, sabi nga sa problem, if we continue at this rate, makakabawas siya ng 5 on the 4th week and 3 on the 5th week. Now, let's try to add the numbers again. So, 11 plus 9 is 20, plus 7 is 27, plus 5 is 32, and plus 3 is 35. So, obviously, after 5 weeks of losing weight, she already accomplished losing 35 kilos. Now, let's go back with the question. How long will it take her to lose 35 kilos? So, it will take her 5 weeks to lose 35 kilos. Okay? As simple as that. Okay, going back with this table. Focus on the numbers of weeks. So, week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And also with the numbers on the kilos. 11, 9, 7, 5, and 3. What can you say about these two sets of number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 11, 9, 7, 5, and 3. Okay, so yung first one, week 1, increasing. Diba? Increasing. Nadadagdagan siya ng isa after the other. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one naman, yung kilos, 11, 9, 7, 5. Nababawasan naman siya ng 2 after its preceding number. So, obviously, pag ganyang pare-pareho yung distance o yung nababawas o yung nadadagdag, pare-pareho, these two sets of numbers can be classified or an example of a sequence. Okay, what is a sequence? A sequence is a set of numbers written in a specific order. A sub 1, A sub 2, A sub 3, A sub 4, A sub 5, A sub 6, and the nth term or the last term. So, pag sinabi natin A sub 1, that is called the first term. A sub 2, the second term. and so on and so forth. Okay? So that is the definition of a sequence. Let's move on. Let's have this another activity or another example. Example number 1. We have here on the left yung finite sequence and the infinite sequence. While on the right, the first column, which has sets of numbers, 3 sets of numbers. Second column also has 3 sets of numbers. Okay, I want you to differentiate these two. I want you to come up with a definition out of this example. Which do you think represent the finite sequence? Finite sequence. Is it the first column or the second column? Which do you think represent infinite sequence? Is it first column or second column? Then afterwards, I want you to define and differentiate finite sequence and infinite sequence. Finite sequence or finite sequence is a sequence with last term. So obviously, si first column, ito yung mga example ng finite sequence. Ibig sabihin, meron silang last term. Paano ba natin malalaman na may last term? Meron siyang last number. Ayan, 27 on the first set, 13 on the next one, and 5 on the last one. While infinite sequence is a sequence without last term. So, these sets represent infinite sequence. Paano ba natin malalaman? How are we going to know if the given set is an infinite sequence? So, tingnan pa rin natin yung bandang huli. You will see here a 3 dots. All of those set has 3 dots. Meaning, ang ibig sabihin ng ellipsis, ng 3 dots, ay ellipsis. Meaning, continuous yung ating sequence. Okay? Okay, so now that you know the difference between finite and infinite sequence, let's move on with example number 2. I will now teach you how to find the next term. Find the next term of the sequence 19, 24, 29, and 34. Okay, so analyze first the given set of numbers. Ano yung nakikita niyong pagbabago after every term? Okay, so you will notice na dadagdagan ng 5 yung mga preceding or mga naunang term. So 9 plus 5, 24 plus 5, 29 plus 5 is 34. So obviously, si 34, dadagdagan lang natin ng 5 to get the next term. So the next term will be 39. Okay? Example number 3. What is the next term of the sequence 6, 12, 24, 48? You will see, first term is 6, the next term becomes 12. It's either we add 6 or we multiply it by 2. Let's try to add 6 to 12. 6 plus 12 is 18. So it will not satisfy the third term. So try natin yung isa. We multiply it by 2. 12 times 2 is 24. Okay, that satisfies the third term. Meaning, tama yung nagmumultiply tayo ng 2 with the preceding term. Let's try to multiply again it by 2. 24 times 2 is 48. So, satisfy tayo kay fourth term. Meaning, yun ang kanyang pattern. Okay? So, to find the next term, we are just going to multiply 48 by 2. 48 times 2 is 96. So the next term of that sequence is 96. Let's move on with example number 4. What is the next term of the sequence 1, 4, 9, and 16? Parang tricky masyado. Medyo tricky yung sequence na to. Okay, so I'll explain to you how do we get the next term. These numbers are called square numbers. If we're going to multiply the counting numbers by itself, ang result niya ay square numbers. Ito. So, first will be 1. Multiply by itself is 1 also. Next is 2. 2 multiplied by itself is 4. 3 multiplied by itself is 9. and 4 multiplied by itself is 16. So obviously, the next number here will be 5 multiplied by itself, or 5 square, and the answer will be 25. Okay, let's move on with the last example. This time, ito yung ating third objectives, which is the generates pattern. Okay? So, question is, find the first 4 terms of the given rule, a sub n equals 3n minus 2. So, ito yung ating given rule. Sanay tayong tawagin ito. We are used to call this as formula. Okay, in sequence, this is called rule. Okay, if we are to go back with the definition of sequence, nakalagay doon, indicated yung a sub 1, a sub 2, a sub 3, a sub 4, and so on and so forth. Okay, so yung first 4 terms natin will be represented by a sub 1, a sub 2, a sub 3, and a sub 4. So obviously, yung unknown natin dito na n, papalitan lang natin ng 1, 2, 3, and 4. But we will solve that differently. We'll start with a sub 1. Okay, to solve for the first term, or a sub 1, is change this n, both n, by 1. So in solution, a sub 1 equals 3 times 1 minus 2. Saan galing yung multiplication? Galing sa rule natin. Kung walang operation in between a number and a term, meaning ang operation is multiplication. Okay, so 3 times 1 minus 2. That becomes the equation. Let's try to solve. 3 times 1 is 3. Baba lang natin si minus 2. Then we subtract 3 minus 2 equals 1. Okay, so our first term, or a sub 1, is 1. Let's try to solve a sub 2. So, gaya ng ginawa natin, papalitan lang natin yung n ng 2. So, it becomes a sub 2 equals 3 times 2 minus 2. Multiply, 6, baba lang minus 2. 6 minus 2 is 4. A sub 2 is 4. Let's move on with a sub 3. So, the n becomes 3 as well as this one. So, 3 times 3 minus 2. 3 times 3 is 9. Bring down this part, minus 2. 9 minus 2 is 7. That will be the third term. Nakasunod? Okay. Let's move on with the fourth and last term. Yung hinahanap na first 4 terms. So, this will be the last term. So, n becomes 4 as well as this one. 3 times 4 minus 2. 3 times 4 is 12. Baba ito. 12 minus 2 is 10. Okay, so that will be the first 4 terms of the given rule. A sub n is equals to 3n minus 2 are 1, 4, 7, and 10. Okay, that's all. I hope that it will help you answer your worksheet or activities or learning task activity sheet for week 1. Goodbye and keep safe always.